Hello, today I wanted to talk to you about a couple of books about horses that I read a couple of months ago. And um, I'm generally fascinated by horses and I find them really interesting. So the first book is Horses and Company by Lucy Rees. This book is a book about horse behavior, uh, strictly horse ethology, which is the sort of fancy word for behavior, for animal behavior. And this was the book that I wish I had when I went into school. So not school, uni. So um, when I started learning biology and I have my first class in ethology, I was really disheartened by the return to such basic principles because I had just been with a bunch of horses for a long while and I had seen that they had really complex ways of communicating and ways of being together. And then all that was stripped away for game theory and and I just didn't really get it and I didn't find it fascinating. But this really awakened that in me again. This was one of the rare nonfiction books that really captured me. Like I would sit doing something else at work, for example. I would be at work being like, when can I read the book again? Which is not my usual reaction when I read a nonfiction. Like, uh, but I just really wanted to know because all the bits about dominance and all the things I've learned about horses throughout the years, they've never really had a proper, like a really thorough understanding, like a basis in experimental and like observational understanding of wild horses. So having this, and she relates her findings to sort of modern, like keeping horses the modern way, and how this knowledge could affect how you do that. And it's just really, really good. And it felt like my experiences with horses were sort of slotting into place when reading this. So like the yeah, the sort of experiences I've had suddenly had a context, and the reasons for why horses do what they do had a little bit of more context. So I highly recommend this. Um, it's just so fascinating, and it's a sort of she tries to. So it was published in. It's not terribly new. I just found it relatively recently. Let's see, 2017. Okay, so not super old, but it made an effort to sort of collect all the research that has been done, like the picking out the good and the bad research, and like telling us about the bad research and why it's bad, and then like all compiling it together and coming to a conclusion and really, yeah, just presenting what we know now and how much more work needs to be done in this field and how difficult it is to do this work because there are so few herds of horses that are not managed by humans. And so, like, we need those to be able to do research on how they would exist in the wild if we weren't culling stallions, for example. So, yeah, I highly, highly recommend this book if you're interested in horses, if you are interested in animal behavior and how it has, how the field has sort of, yeah, progressed recently. Um, it's really, really good. Okay, so that was the positive one. The next one, not so positive. It's called I Can't Watch Anymore, The Case for Dropping Equestrian from the Olympic Games by Julie Taylor. Julie Taylor is one of the main people who created Epona TV. I don't know if you've seen any of that, but they broadcast some of the biggest scandals in equestrian news in the last 10 years. And she had hope that she could help reform the equestrian sport. And she tried. And even when, like, the reaction she got from publishing these big, like, very blatant rule breaking from, like, the rule breaking, like, from the rules that are there for horse sports. She published this, and then everyone was like, just don't be here, throwing her out of things, just didn't want to listen. So now she's taken it a step further. This details, like, chapter by chapter, reasons why equestrian sport shouldn't be in the Olympic Games, and how the equestrian sport has been affected by having, like, by being in the Olympic Games, and how that has changed equestrian sport, and sort of forced it to become more watchable and entertaining, all at the cost of horses. So I bought this as one of the numbered pre-orders that guaranteed that when I bought this, a book was sent to a member of the Olympic Committee. Some of the people who got this book have actually responded. There was a big scandal over equestrian in the previous Olympics. And there was a trainer who punched a horse, which is a bit too much. And clearly lots of people saw it, lots of people were outraged, and we need to do something about it. Equestrian sport as it is today is not good for horses. There, I said it. Horses are meant to roam a pasture with their family. They're not meant to stand in a tight space being lugged around on highways to go jump really tall fences or prance around with lots of people looking on. Like, that's not what horses do. And after reading this book, I am very firmly in the camp of equestrian sport as it is today is very close to circus with animals. And we've abolished that. Or, like, nearly abolished. So I don't think this should be a competition. Like, it can be entertainment, local entertainment, for example, but it is circus. And why do we have circus in the Olympic Games, which is about human achievement? So yeah, I was frustrated and angry when reading this, but also there's something about the, like, neutral way that things are presented that made me sort of frustrated and angry in a constructive, good way. So yeah, I enjoyed, like, this was a very useful read, and I didn't feel angry in a way that didn't mean I felt I couldn't do anything. I felt angry in a way that, well, we need to do something. So this is now available in Kindle format. so you don't have to get a physical book. And it's all text. I don't think there's a single picture in here. Yeah, it's all text. So I read this Horses and Company I read on my Kindle. My Kindle is a Paperwhite, so it's all black and white. And I lost a bit of detail when looking at the pictures, which is why I've bought it in paper. This one I could easily have read on Kindle. I do not feel the need that I needed to have it in paper. I just wanted to have it, and there was no guarantee that it was ending up in Kindle format. So I bought it. But yeah, those are the two books that are quite different from the other horse books that I've read through the years. They're mostly about not interfering with horses and not overworking with them. So that's a bit of a different vibe to, for example, I don't know, the training manuals that you get out there, or like natural horsemanship books and stuff like that, which are always, the thing with those is always to work with the horse. It's how to work with a horse. And like my experience is working with a horse. But these are definitely outside of that. And if you just want like a cozy, nice read about and understand like more about horse behavior, then definitely go for Horses and Company. I think it's the best book about horses and their behavior that I've read, basically. And then if you want to understand why we need a change in how equestrian sport is being done, read this. Yeah. Okay, that's it for today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.